Hoo-hoo, did I spend my morning going to the first showing of the Forrest Gump remake? Abso-freaking-lutely I did. And the movie is just that. It is an official remake of Forrest Gump that not only did I see in theaters, but it was on the RPX IMAX screen too. It's got the beats you'd expect it to have, bookending with the feather, Forrest's leg braces, being a war hero, being a runner, all of that is there, right down to some of the same shots and even the same lines, sometimes word for word, and then other times switched up a bit.
मेरी मम्मी कहती थी जिंदगी गोलगप्पे जैसी होती है पेट पले ही पर जावे मन नहीं पड़ता.
So yeah, while it's got a lot of the plot points you expect it to have, it does have differences that make sense too. Clearly, the movie isn't about American history or pop culture, so instead of teaching Elvis dance moves, he teaches Shah Rukh Khan. Instead of football, he runs track and field. But my favorite is when he and Bubba don't talk about shrimp, but instead Bubba is obsessed with underpants. It does the montage of Bubba talking about his favorite subject, only with it being non-stop talk about underwear. I kept expecting our lead to be like, okay, Bubba, stop, you're being weird. But even that has very Forrest Gump-like storytelling, in that when it gets to creating the company, he names it after Jenny, who here is named Rupa, so it becomes Rupa Undergarments, an actual corporation. As a huge fan of Forrest Gump, I did like seeing this. There's a lot of moments where it really does still work. There's scenes that have a tremendous amount of heart, and even some sequences that are straight up intense, like Laal and his mom hiding out during riots, or the battle sequence on the mountain where Laal becomes a hero. It is very suspenseful and gripping, and has great sound editing. The cinematography is still beautiful. I can see why they released it on the IMAX screen. A lot of the movie is a bit lighter than Forrest Gump. For instance, mom doesn't bang the principal to get him into school. But then there's other parts where it's weirdly grittier. It never turns into an action movie, but there were moments where I thought it was going to. In this, during Jenny's downward spiral, she starts working for a crime lord who's sitting there in his leisure suits, smoking cigarettes like every now and then the movie is Scarface. Also, you know the scene in Forrest Gump where Jenny comes back and she and Forrest sleep together and then she leaves the next morning? Well, here, she and Forrest sleep together, but the next day she is promptly arrested by authorities due to her ties to organized crime. Oh, and Jenny isn't molested as a child in this, but her dad does kill her mom and then is hauled off to prison. That theme of abuse does carry on through the movie, like Rupa catching one of Lal's employees, smacking his wife, so she then beats the shit out of the guy with a stick. As far as the performances go, there's scenes where Aamir Khan is excellent, especially when he's got to show some tears or deliver a monologue. But then there's other parts where he's oddly intense. Like he's a doll who's come to life and is about to go on a rampage. He has this tick too where he goes, a lot, and it gets to the point to where it's distracting. Like when he's telling people his story on the train, and he's saying things like, and then the next day, Rupa moved in with me, And if I was on this train, I'd be like, okay, dare I ask what happened next? He'll be on this train and then just start giggling like they accidentally remade Joker instead. But if you're a fan of Forrest Gump, it's worth checking out, if anything, just for curiosity alone, to see how they made the same exact movie, but changing countries and showing other historical events. I'll give it a B. I don't know if it's something I'd ever watch again, necessarily. I'll always prefer to just watch Forrest Gump, but I'm glad I saw it. It's more or less what I thought it was gonna be from the trailer. It is missing that sweet-ass 60s soundtrack, though. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay tuned for reviews for The Fall and Bodies, 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 and we'll see you next time.